Hello and welcome to this occupational therapy remote training session. My name is Brooke and I am one of the occupational therapists at Brent Specialist Academy Trust. In these remote training sessions, we aim to provide you with the information you need to know to feel confident about implementing ideas and strategies to support your child at home. This particular session is focused on how we support handwriting at Manor School and the Avenue School. More specifically, by the end of the session, we hope you will have a greater understanding of ABC Boom, why we use it, and how it aims to support the development of handwriting for pupils at all levels. So what is ABC Boom? ABC Boom is a method created by an occupational therapist in Canada that uses a multisensory approach to support the development of efficient and legible handwriting. So, on this slide, you can see the shapes or pre-writing strokes required to make all the letters of the alphabet. And on this slide, you can see the same pre-writing strokes, but with the ABC Boom visuals and sounds that support pupils' learning of the strokes. So, as mentioned in the previous slide, each pre-writing stroke has an associated picture or pictogram. And what is important about this picture is that it shows movement in a particular direction. So in the case of the car stroke, the car moves towards the traffic light to make the left to right horizontal stroke. Also, as you saw on the previous slide, each stroke has an associated sound. And what is important about the sound is that it corresponds to the movement that is happening in the picture. So for the car stroke, the sound is vroom. What is also important about the stroke sound is that it is a short, one-syllable word or sound. This means it could be said at the same time as any action demonstrating the stroke. Like this. Vroom. Vroom. So, in addition to a visual and sound, which give information about the stroke's direction, there's also a big emphasis on the pupil experiencing the direction of the stroke with their body through gross motor actions. So, for the car stroke, the pupils might be pull or push on a scooter board or take turns pretending to be a car and running to stop at a traffic light, like this. And one thing to note about the car stroke is that these activities are usually done against a wall with the pupil moving from left to right to reinforce the correct direction of the stroke. In addition to these three sensory inputs, there is also a big emphasis on the pupil practicing the stroke with large arm movements or against resistance, like this resistance sponge and paint activity. This provides sensory feedback to the muscles of the body that again reinforces how the stroke is formed. And what is really, really important to remember is that the associated stroke sound is always said anytime a child sees, experiences, or makes the stroke in any way. It is also important to note that all of these activities are happening before a child even picks up a mark-making tool. All of this learning of pre-writing strokes is happening within a range of fun activities and through different sensory inputs, which makes this learning accessible to pupils at different developmental stages and with different learning styles. So, now that I've given you an overview of this approach, I'm going to give you an example of how we would introduce, teach, and reinforce the raindrop stroke. That doesn't involve using a mark-making tool or even sitting at the table. I have chosen the raindrop stroke because this is the first pre-writing stroke that is taught. When introducing a new stroke, the first thing we would do would be to show the stroke visual and describe or ask pupils to describe what they see. Oh, look! It's a cloud! And a raindrop? And what's this? It's a puddle! After this, we would then model the stroke. So for example, look, the raindrops are going to start in a cloud and fall down to the puddle like this. Plop! The raindrop goes plop. At this point, we might put on a motivating song that features rain and that captures a child's interest and attention, and then periodically pause it to reinforce the raindrop stroke. We might do this by making the raindrop stroke in the air with our arm, using the visual that we've already introduced, or using a whiteboard and marker. At this point, pupils may also be asked to imitate the adult's arm movements or trace the raindrop stroke with their finger, either on the laminate or over the raindrop stroke that the adult had made on the whiteboard. The same modeling and reinforcing the raindrop stroke could also be applied when looking at a book that features rain, for example, this one, The Little Raindrop. After introducing the stroke visual and sound, the next thing we would do is an associated gross motor action where the child experiences the direction of the stroke with their body. So in the case of the raindrop stroke, this would involve the body moving in a vertical downward direction, like this. It is important to note that the sound plop is said every time anyone jumps down. Also, in between pupils taking turns within this activity, the adult may again be reinforcing the stroke by saying, "Oh, look, Brooke went plop." And here I am making small raindrop strokes so that it's in the frame of the video. But in real life, I would be making really big raindrop strokes like this. Plop! After experiencing the direction of the stroke through a gross motor action, there would then be an activity designed to facilitate the pupil in making the stroke with large arm movements or against resistance. This may differ for each child depending on their interests and motivations. So it could be pulling down a pop tube, or using a preferred toy or object. A literacy lesson introducing a new stroke would incorporate all of these above components. However, we also support pupils' learning by finding as many opportunities throughout the day in which the stroke being taught can be modeled or reinforced within fun and motivating activities. Some examples of motivating water play activities where the raindrop stroke can be reinforced may be water balloons, saying plop as they drop to the ground, singing 5 Little Ducks, so every time a duck comes back, taking turns dropping the duck into a bowl of water with a plop. This may be done in water play or in the bath. Dropping different objects into water, so this may be part of an activity where you experiment dropping objects of different weights and sizes, which will make different size splashes, which might be motivating, like this. Or alternatively, if a child is playing with toys in messy play such as sand, paint, foam, or soil, when it is time to tidy up, you can drop the objects that need to be cleaned into a bowl of water with a plop before then washing them. So, I've just mentioned messy play, which many of our pupils are also motivated by. These are great opportunities for adults to playfully model making the strokes in a way that captures the child's attention and where the child may be more available and motivated to try to imitate the strokes themselves. So strokes can be made in a variety of messy play, and they can be made using a finger, a paintbrush, or any other object or toy that is part of the activity. And I will take this opportunity to reiterate again that this practicing of strokes with large arm movements while also saying the sound at the same time will promote the child's ability to produce a stroke automatically, which will support their efficiency when moving to paper and pen tasks. So, those were just some examples of fun, motivating activities in which the raindrop stroke could be incorporated, but there are many more. Hopefully, after this training, you'll be able to recognize situations or opportunities that arise within a regular day in which you can naturally reinforce the raindrop stroke. You will have noticed that up until now, I have not included any paper and pen tasks or exercises. That's because the ABC Boom approach aims to promote pupils' understanding of the strokes and ability to produce these with automatic motor movements before moving to paper and pen tasks. So, to give you an example of what I mean by automatic motor movements, it would be like when, as an adult, we put in a passcode or PIN number automatically without needing to think about it, as it is just part of our muscle memory. So, unless a child shows an interest in mark making with markers, we would not transition to paper and pen tasks until they are able to produce pre-writing strokes automatically. So, to say it again, with this approach, by the time pupils transition to paper and pen, their formation of strokes should be automatic. This means that they will not need to concentrate on how they are forming strokes or later on letters, and then can devote their attention instead to the content of their writing. Additionally, some of our pupils will find the motor demands of holding and controlling a pencil effortful in itself, and so moving to paper and pen tasks before they are ready could also impact on their motivation to participate in writing activities, which we don't want. I have talked a lot about the teaching of pre-writing strokes, so let's move on to teaching letters. Letters can be introduced once pupils know all of the strokes required for that letter and are able to produce these automatically. The strokes are then combined to make a sequence that teaches the formation of letters. For example, capital A would be formed by 2 slide strokes and a car stroke, like this. Whee! Whee! Vroom. But even if a child is not yet writing letters themselves, if they're familiar with the strokes, an adult can start modeling saying the stroke sounds out loud as they write in front of the child, like this. Wee, wee, vroom. This can support the child in understanding that letters are made using different strokes put together. And when a child is ready to move on to writing letters, we do also have worksheets that include the ABC Boom visuals to support letter formations, like this one. This training has focused on how ABC Boom can teach pre-writing strokes and letters, but I just wanted to note here that there are also ways that ABC Boom can support pupils who are already writing but who may present with difficulties, like the formation of certain letters, letter reversals such as B and D being reversed or P and Q, or difficulties positioning their letters on a line. For this last one, an additional ABC Boom resource that we have is this visual, which includes a sun, tree, and roots, which can help with the positioning of letters with long stems, so the ones that go up to the sun, or ones where part of the letter falls below the line or underground. We have now reached the end of this occupational therapy training session. I hope it has been a useful insight into how we support the development of pupils' handwriting through the use of the ABC Boom program, and how you can do this at home too. If you have a query for the occupational therapy team, you can contact us directly via the OT email address given here. If you have the time, we would also greatly appreciate any feedback about this training session and our online training sessions more generally. If it's something you have found useful and would like to see more of in a range of different topic areas, then please do let us know so we can make sure we are supporting parents, carers, and staff as best we can. Thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to hearing about how you've been putting all of this into practice. Bye for now.